Well, good morning, your Yoga Flow family. Pleasure to do this again with y'all. So today we are going to we'll be working on crow poses, finding basically just breaking it down, how to get into um, and whatnot, and just some tips and tricks that I've found to be very helpful and beneficial. And looking forward to sharing that with all of you. So, if you need water, get some water. Um, don't necessarily need blocks, but if you'd like some blocks, we'll do some things where we can play with those. And what do I want to say about crow? So, crow. Um, a big thing, myself included, was the tendency is to attempt to power through a crow pose. And so what kind of happens with that is the alignment might not necessarily be right. So instead of elbows over your wrists, arms tend to like splay out, and people tend to press their knees down into their triceps. So they're thinking about knees down towards the floor as opposed to pressing it into your hands and engaging your core to lift your hips. So this way you're lighter on your arms. So a lot of times too, people maybe bruise, or they'll just say it's really uncomfortable on their triceps. So doing some different things to help alleviate that. And some different things that I like to do when teaching in arm balance or something new is kind of figuring out just the different ways I can show the posture before even getting into the posture. Um, and so I'll give those variations as we move along. But let's go ahead and get started. Just sitting on the back of your mat. You can just plant your hands behind you and feet in front of you, and just let your knees knock a little left to right. As you're loosening up the hips and acknowledging how you're feeling this morning. And then from there, go ahead and plant into your feet, and then plant at your hands. Hands can be either pointing to opposite sides of the room or towards your feet. And reverse tabletop, so squeezing your glutes, drawing your shoulders back, lifting your chest. And take a breath in. And as you exhale, just go ahead and bring your hips between your hands and press into your hands and then hover. So strong here in your core. Notice how you feel in your shoulders. So we're looking for a protraction in our shoulders. And this could be a good spot too for blocks to just give yourself a little more space. So again, hips through your arms. Hover. And then let's take it back to reverse tabletop one more time. And here lifting. And then bringing your hips back. And then hover and go ahead and ground. And send your right foot out and left foot against your inner right thigh. You can plant your right hand by your side, take your left arm up, and then from here fold over your right leg. And you're looking for length in your spine. If you need to, find a soft bend in your right knee. And then pressing your left shin down towards the floor. One more exhale. And bring your left hand behind you, Stargazer Pose. You're going to ground through your left shin, point your right toes, and inhale, lift your hips. Then exhale, bring your hips back down to the floor. And plant your left foot flat on the mat. And you can keep your left hand behind you. And now take your right arm high. And then from here, twist, looking over your left shoulder. And still remembering to lengthen your spine and engaging your core as you twist, instead of relying so much on the leverage here of your right arm and your left leg. And go ahead and release. Hands behind you, plant your feet, reverse tabletop. We'll do that twice. Breathe in, lift your hips. Then exhale, hover your hips between your hands. And inhale, lift your hips. And exhale, hips between your hands. Hover, and then ground. Switching sides, left foot out, right foot in. Left hand behind you, you can take your right arm high and then fold and reach for whatever you can grab. So whether that's your toes or your shin or your thigh. I'm still here being mindful of your breath. And one last exhale. And release. So then bring your right hand behind you, ground through your right shin, Stargazer, lift your hips and open. And exhale, bring it back down. Right hand stays behind you, plant your right foot on the floor. So your right foot on the floor enough so this way both hips can be even and you can feel your pelvis still spill forward. And so this way you can lengthen, right hand behind you, left arm up, and twist. Maybe take your gaze over your left shoulder. And release. And come back to center. Hands at your sides, plant your feet, reverse tabletop, breathe in. And hips between your hands as you breathe out. And inhale, reverse tabletop. And exhale, hips between your hands. And this time hover for 5. Breathe for 4. 3, 2, and ground. All right. And now from here, go ahead and scoot forward and lower all the way to your back. And plant your hands by your sides. Just going to take a bridge pose, grounding into your feet, squeezing and lifting. And exhale, lower down. And take a full body stretch, extend out through your fingertips and out through your toes. And now slight tuck here in your tailbone. So try pressing your low back. It doesn't necessarily need to touch the floor. We're just looking to get it closer so that way we can really engage our entire core. Now from here, go ahead and take your hands up to the ceiling. And maybe take your feet up to the ceiling as well. And then we're just going to roll our ankles, roll our wrists. Since we're going to be doing a lot on our wrists, just want to get those warmed up. Maybe open and close your hands a few times. I'll do that for 10 and 9. Maybe doing the same with your toes for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And go ahead and close your fists. And now flex. And then turn your fists in towards one another. Is this better? This is probably better. All right, in towards one another, and then turn your fists out, and in, and out, in, out, in. Last time, out. Then turn them in, and then palms up to the ceiling, and then flex. And extend, and flex, extend, and flex. Do that a few more times, and then go ahead and shake your hands out. Nice. So now wrists a little warmed up. Go ahead and go back to a full body stretch. And lengthen. Now we'll come into a low bow. Reach your fingertips towards your toes and then lift your shoulders off the mat. Keep your low back pressed into the floor and then hover your legs. And reach your arms overhead. So now this is your hollow body shape. Think low ribs to hip points, navel to spine, low back towards the floor. And reach, and then go ahead and relax. Now here, think of plank, and press your hands towards the ceiling. Now think Chaturanga. So now here you're bending, okay? Actually, Chaturanga, you'd be here. This is actually going to be harder from our back. So let's come up into a seat. So usually from a boat pose is where we'll do this. So boat pose, here we are. So staying with the low boat, or you keeping your feet grounded to modify. So here you've got your flexed wrist. And now bringing your knees into your triceps. So here's your crow pose. So notice the engagement in your core. Notice the placement of your knees to your triceps. So eventually we'd like to get our knees closer to our armpits, but really we're using any space between our elbows and our armpits. So here just noticing how this feels. And then now playing with a little more core engagement, warming up the body. So go ahead and send your legs out and then bring your knees back up to your triceps. And legs out, knees to triceps. Do that 3 more times. And 2 more. Last one. Go ahead and bring it in. Then plant your feet, plant your hands, reverse tabletop, taking your belly in the opposite direction, allowing it to stretch. And then hips between your hands, hover. And then go ahead and sit. And now playing here with the side crow. So side crow, you still got your Chaturanga arms, but now twist enough so you can bring your left tricep to your right thigh. And now options here, your hands can stay shoulder width distance apart, Or you can twist deeper and bring your right elbow to your right tricep. For me, this is a little harder because it's a deeper twist. But then same thing, keep your engagement, whichever you've got, and see if you can hover your feet. So now you're pressing your thigh into your tricep back into your thigh. This is your side crow. And then now let's take it to the other side. So now your right tricep on your left thigh. And if you want, you can twist a little deeper, bringing your left elbow to your left hip, still flexing your wrist. Notice that core engagement. And then take it back over to the right, and over to the left, and to the right, and to the left. One more time, each side, right and left. And go ahead and plant your hands, reverse tabletop. Yeah, and then hips between your hands. And ground. Go ahead and cross your ankles, come into a tabletop. Now from your tabletop, spreading your fingers wide. So here, noticing how you're using your hands. And if you're just pressing into the heel of your palm, see if you can distribute your weight a little more efficiently. So this way you're using your entire hand or as much of your hand as you need to ease any tension here on your wrists. So to do that, think about pressing your palms into one another and notice where you feel most of the pressure. And now from here, think about using the perimeter of your hands. So press through the outside of your palm and length of your fingertips, and maybe even allow your hands to separate. So kind of like your Anjali Mudra, except your fingers are going to be more open, and the middle of your hand is going to lift. So it's almost making like a suction cup on the mat. And this is going to help you direct your weight and help you shift and adjust more when you're in the pose. Another thing you could do is pressing the heels of your palms together, then your fingertips, and then crimping your fingertips. And then same thing, that's just going to help distribute your weight a little bit more. Now in your tabletop, keep a neutral spine, so there's going to be a slight tuck here in your tailbone. Find whatever feels best in your hands and external rotation in your arms, so shoulders are away from your ears. Now press into your palms and lift your back, and then exhale, lower your shoulders between your hands. So now here you've got a retraction, and inhale to protraction. Exhale, retract. Inhale, protract. Exhale, retract. Inhale, protract. Now cat pose, breathe out. Inhale to cow. And cat. Cow. One more time, cat. And cow. And neutral tabletop. Now tuck your toes and press into your hands. Keep your shoulders protracted. Now hover your knees. So notice the same engagement here in your core as you had in your hollow body shape. Your low ribs to your hip points, your navel to your spine. Breathe in and take a down dog. Breathe out. And here, pedal it out. Bend one knee, straighten the other leg. We'll move through a little flow, and then we'll incorporate the crow poses into our flow. And starting with just a warm-up. Come up onto your tiptoes as you breathe in, then exhale, tiptoe to the top of your mat. And halfway lift, breathe in. And forward fold, breathe out. Inhale to a mountain pose. And from here, cactus your arms. Back bend, opening your heart, tucking your tailbone, lifting your chest, heart to the ceiling, and back to a mountain pose, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. And halfway lift, breathe in. And now crouch and curl or ball pose. So fingertips to the floor, come onto your tiptoes, hips to your heels, and forehead to your knees. So you're just getting small and compact. Still opening the back, but just getting our body ready to be in a little more compressed shape. And now lean forward so you can bring some weight into your hands and press into your palms. Start to lift your hips. Protract your shoulders. Step back to plank and lower halfway chaturanga. Feel free to lower your knees if you want to modify. Up dog, breathe in. And down dog on your exhale. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And out. Inhale, shift forward to a plank. And then as you breathe out, send your hips to your heels. So again, getting small and compact and getting active here in our arms, gripping through your fingertips. And stay for one more exhale. Then as you breathe in, lift, and then exhale again, travel to the top. Halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, mountain. Extend and back bend, exhale. Inhale, extended mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, crouch and curl. Plant your palms, breathe in, lift your hips. Step back to plank, lower chaturanga, breathe out. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And out. Shift forward to a plank, breathe in. Hover your knees, hips to heels, breathe out. Then step or jump to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Extended mountain pose, breathe in. Breathe out for your back bend. Extended mountain pose, inhale. Forward fold on your exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. And crouch and curl. Now plant your palms, and this time ground your knees and untuck your toes. So here's just a good core drill to really engage your core and stay strong here in your hands. So you're leaning forward, more weight in your hands than in your legs. And your shoulders might be slightly over your wrists and more towards the space or the length of your fingers. And now you're protracting your shoulders. Press into the tops of your feet and then lift your thighs into your chest. And then lower and lift, lower, lift, lower, lift. Two more. And one. That's it. And go ahead and ground. Step back to plank. Lower chaturanga. Breathe in, up dog. Breathe out, down dog. And inhale. And exhale. And breathe in. And out. Shift forward to a plank. Hover your knees, hips to heels. Step or jump to your hands. And halfway lift. And forward fold. Chair pose, breathe in. Yeah, so now a little more weight in your heels, knees and toes pointing in the same direction. Still slight tuck in your tailbone so you can lengthen your spine, and then find what feels best in your arms. Maybe that's biceps by your ears. Maybe that's hands a little wider. That can even just be hands here at heart center. And take one more inhale. Now we'll move to a drinking bird exhale. So come onto your tiptoes and then sweep your hands back. Retract your scapula into one another and squeeze your palms in like you're holding a block behind you or a ball. Keeping this lift in your chest. Heels high, hips low. Now reach your hands forward as you breathe in and flex your wrists. Now protract your shoulders like you're pressing the wall away that's in front of you. And take one more breath in and plant your hands to the mat as you breathe out. Now weight's already in your hands. Lean forward, lift your hips. Step or jump back. Lower through chaturanga. Up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Inhale your right heel to the sky. And bring your right knee to your nose. Tuck your chin to your chest. Protract your shoulders. Navel to spine. And flex your foot. Step your foot between your hands. Coming into a lunge. And then inhale to a crescent. All the way up. Breathe in. And strong here in your base. Squeezing through your thighs. Drawing your right hip back. Left hip pressing forward. Finding length in your spine. Now we'll take an archer pose. So lower your left knee to a hover. Your left fist reaches forward. And then pull your right elbow back. So I like this pose a lot because you're opening your hip flexor. You're stacked here, but you're using core strength to twist instead of relying on some leverage. This just helps build strength and familiarity in your twist. Stay for one more breath in. Sink a little deeper as you breathe out. Then inhale, lean forward and reach forward with both hands. Think thumbs up to the ceiling. Strong here in your core. You're strong in your back. Take one more breath in. Warrior two, breathe out. So spinning your left heel down to the mat. Shoulders here over your hips and reaching wide, fingertip to fingertip. Knee over the ankle. And reach. Flip your front hand. Now let's give the right leg a break. Take a reverse triangle. So inhale, reach up. Now building strength through the side body. As you exhale, take a side angle pose. Now find your positioning here and open your hands to the front. Now extend and reach through both arms. So notice what's happening here with the left side of your body, and keep thinking of stacking your left side over your right. And take one more breath in. Hands to the mat, low lunge, breathe out. Inhale to a plank. Chaturanga, exhale. Breathe into your up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left leg up, breathe in. Anita nose, breathe out. And stay for an inhale, flex your foot. And exhale, lunge. Crescent lunge onto the breath in. Ground here and rise. Again, strong here in your base. Finding your footing, make whatever little adjustments you need. And take one more breath in. Now arch your right knee lowers to a hover. This time your left elbow pulls back and your right arm and fist reach forward. So again, notice the twist here across your chest. Think chin over your right shoulder. Still tucking your tailbone so you're opening through your right hip flexor. One more breath out. Right? We'll stay through this. Yeah, one more exhale. Now lean forward and reach forward with your breath in. Press off of your back toes. Biceps here by your ears. One more breath in. Exhale to warrior two. Spin your right heel down to the mat. And again, here playing with your foundation. Notice your spacing. How's this feel in the legs? How's this feel to your torso? Are you still engaged through your core? And flipping your right hand, reverse triangle, straighten your right or your left leg. And side angle pose, breathe out. Now you can always just stay here, but if you want to take it elsewhere, as you breathe in, you're reaching overhead. And strong here through your entire body. Really focus on your legs, focus on your core and the stacking of your shoulders. One more breath in. Low lunge, breathe out. Inhale to plank. Chaturanga, exhale. Up dog, breathe in. Down dog, breathe out. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. We'll take that sequence, one breath, one movement. Inhale to your plank. Hover your knees, hips to heels, breathe out and jump to the top. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, fold. Inhale to chair. Exhale, drinking bird. Inhale, reach forward, flex your wrists. And exhale, clench your palms. Inhale, lift your hips. Step or jump back on the exhale. Up dog, breathe in. Down dog, breathe out. Right leg up, breathe in. Knee to nose, breathe out. Then land in your lunge. And inhale to crescents. Exhale, arch your left knee down, right elbow back. Inhale, lean forward, reach forward. Exhale, warrior two. Flip your front hand. Inhale, reverse triangle. And exhale, side angle pose. Open your palms and inhale, reach. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Up dog, breathe in. Down dog, breathe out. Inhale, left leg up. Knee to nose and land in your lunge. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, arch your right knee down, left elbow back. Inhale, reach forward. And exhale, warrior two. Flip your front hands. Inhale, reverse triangle. And exhale, side angle pose. Inhale, reach overhead. And exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Up dog, breathe in. Down dog, breathe out. And inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale one more time. Breath to movement. Inhale to plank. Hover your knees, hips to heels. Breathe out, then jump. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair, breathe in. Drinking bird, breathe out. Reach your hands forward, flex your wrists. Exhale, plant your palms. Inhale, lean forward, lift your hips. Step or jump back, chaturanga, breathe out. Up dog, breathe in. Down dog, breathe out. Right leg up. Knee to nose and land in your lunge. Crescent on your inhale. Exhale to archer, left knee down, right elbow back. Inhale, lean forward and reach. Warrior two. Flipping your front hand, reverse triangle. And side angle pose. Open your hands, extend overhead. And low lunge. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg up. Knee to nose and lunge, breathe out. Inhale to crescent. Exhale, archer. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse triangle. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reach overhead. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Ground your knees and take a seat on your heels as you breathe out. Give yourself a moment here. Just notice your breathing. So now we're going to incorporate crow into our practice. So we've done a lot of good prep already. Now it's just a matter of giving ourselves some space and time to be in the posture. And last exhale. And as you breathe in, hands in front of you, tuck your toes, send your hips to your heels, and step or jump to your hands. And halfway lift, and fold. Chair pose. And now drinking bird. From your drinking bird, reach your hands forward and flex your wrists. And now lower your hips down to your heels. And bring your triceps to, or your knees, your triceps to your knees. Now option one is just staying here. This is your crow pose. You can get comfortable being here. Now if you don't quite have crow pose, let's just get comfortable rocking front to back. So keeping this connection between your triceps and your knees, you're just going to lean forward so you can plant your hands and see if you can just hover your feet, and then shift back to your feet, hover your hands. Hands to the mat, maybe lift your feet, and take it back. Lean forward. And maybe if that's where your students are at, give them that option. So this way, again, noticing when you're pressing down a lot on your knees and focus on pressing into your hands. So that exercise that we did, we're pressing, protracting, and lifting. We want to feel that same engagement once we bring our knees to our triceps. So that way everything is not just grounding from our hands, but everything's wanting to go up towards the ceiling. So that's going to be a great option. Another thing, if you want to use blocks. So options here for blocks, you can set them underneath your shoulders. That can be kind of a deep bend for some people. So that might feel like too much. Another spot would be just at your forehead. So if someone's here, lining it up so that way they can just, that way they're not falling forward. Gives them something to ground on, and they can come back. Same thing, maybe lean forward, just touch your head and come back. Or even just staying with your toes down. Maybe play with lifting one foot, maybe lifting both feet. But giving yourselves an option, giving yourselves time. Then we'll meet in a little Malasana Yogi squat. And maybe roll your wrists up. And take another breath in. And breath out. And one more inhale. And let's forward fold on the exhale. And halfway lift. Separate your feet about hips distance and bring your peace fingers to your toes, or if you want, slide your palms underneath your feet. Then take a forward fold from here. Now we're going to add some deeper twists. Just this way we can get ready for our side crows. You're relaxing your spine, shoulders away from your ears. One more breath in and release as you breathe out. Halfway lift, inhale. And crouch and curl, exhale. Palms down, hips up, breathe in. Step back, chaturanga, breathe out. Up dog, back to down dog. Right leg up. Kneel nose and step to your lunge. Inhale to crescent. And go back to your archer. So left knee down, right elbow back. Listen for the change. Inhale, lean forward and reach forward. Bring your palms together, now revolved crescent. Left elbow to your right thigh. And if you want to modify here, you can always lower your left knee down to the mat. Think here of stacking your shoulders. And focus on, again, the strength of your core to assist this twist instead of just cranking your arm into your leg. So being mindful of the twist. We're not trying to force it. Trying to find ease with our breath. Again, balancing the effort and the ease. So how can we incorporate more parts of our body to work together to make the postures easier? Staying through one more breath in. And last breath out. Reach forward on your inhale. Warrior 2, exhale. Shoulders here over your hips. Again, flip your front hand, reverse triangle. And side angle pose. And reach your hands forward as you breathe in. And hands to the mat, breathe out. Step back to plank and hover your right foot. Now roll to the outside of your left foot for wild thing and plant your right foot behind you. Ground to your lift, retract your shoulders, squeeze your glutes, hips and heart to the ceiling. Just here for 3, plank in 2, and 1, plank pose. Lower through Chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Down dog, breathe out. Left side, inhale your left leg up. Exhale to your lunge. Inhale crescent. And exhale archer. Lean forward, reach forward with your breath in. And exhale, twist as you breathe out. Again, feel free to lower your right knee down to the mat. You're steady here with your breathing. Last breath in. Last breath out. Inhale, reach forward. And exhale, warrior 2. Flip your front hand, breathe in, reverse triangle. And side angle on your exhale. Extend through both arms, breathe in. Lunge, breathe out. Inhale to plank and hover your left foot. Wild thing, roll to the outside of your right foot, ground your left foot, lift and open, hold and breathe. One more breath in and slowly back to your plank. Exhale through Chaturanga. Up dog, breathe in. And down dog, breathe out. And shift forward to a plank. Hover your knees, hips to heels, step or jump to your hands. Halfway lift and fold. Chair pose. This time bring your palms together, seated prayer twist, left elbow to your right thigh. I usually offer these options. So it'll be 1, stay here. If you want to open your arms, open your arms. Now if you want to take it to a side crow, come onto your tiptoes and lower your hips to your heels. So now you still got the tricep to thigh connection, your right leg and left arm. And you can stay here. Now, option is going to be to bring your hands to the side. So now you've got your elbows and your knees all in the same line. You're going to press into your hands, lift your hips, lift your right toes, take Chaturanga arms. Now you've got 3 points of contact here with the floor, your left foot and your 2 hands. When you feel good here, maybe lift your left toes off the mat. And now if that requires a little more strength, but if you want, you can always bring your right elbow to your right hip. You're going to do the same things. Press into your hands, lift your hips, lift your right toes, bring your hip to your elbow, lean forward into your Chaturanga arms, and then play with lifting your left toes off the mat. So I like lifting the foot that's using your arm as a shelf, because at least for me, when I tried lifting that leg second, felt like it was just going to sweep out from underneath me and I was going to fall. So these 3 points of contact, opposite foot up, taking your Chaturanga arms, this feels way more stable. And it's a lot easier to lift your left foot to get into the pose. So then that's your side crow. Then come back up into a chair. And exhale, forward fold. Give yourself a break. Halfway lift. Separate your feet. Let's just hang in a tree hugger pose. So belly to thighs, and then bring your right arm behind your right leg. Grab the front of your left shin. Left arm behind your left leg. Grab the front of your right shin. Crown of your head heavy. Shaking your head yes and no. Maybe drawing some circles on the mat with the crown of your head. More weight here towards your toes. Just one more breath in. And release on your exhale. Halfway lift, heel toe your feet together. And forward fold. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Chair, breathe in. Hands together and seated prayer twist, breathe out. So now your right elbow to your left thigh. So again, option one here, maybe open your arms. If you're not quite ready for crow or side crow, maybe just bringing your hips to your heels and you can stay here. If you're ready for it, again, elbows in line with your knees, hands shoulder width distance, press into your hands, protract your shoulders, lift your hips, lift your left toes, then take Chaturanga arms. Elbows stay over your wrist, gaze out in front of your hands, and when you're ready, lift your right toes and hold and breathe. Now again, same options. You can bring your left elbow to your left hip. So now you've got a little more stability here in your foundation, but it is going to be a deeper twist. So you can do the same thing, hands down, lift. Now when you're ready, lift your right toes. And squeezing everything nice and tight. Breathing where you're at. Holding here. 3, 2, chair, breathe in. And forward fold, breathe out. Halfway lift, inhale, separate your feet, hips distance. Tree hugger, this time your left hand behind your left leg first, grab for your right shin. Right arm behind your right leg, grab for your left shin. Relaxing your shoulders. Yeah, crown of your head heavy. Last breath in. And release. Halfway lift, inhale. And crouch and curl, exhale. And from here, just walk your hands behind you and take a seat. Plant your palms, plant your feet, reverse tabletop, squeeze and lift. And exhale, hips between your hands, hover, then ground. Right foot out, left foot in. Right hand behind you, left arm up. And go ahead and fold over your right leg. And release. Stargazer, left hand behind you, ground through your left shin, and inhale, lift up. And exhale, bring it down. Left foot flat on the mat. Now, if you want to stay here for your twist, stay here. If you want to go a little deeper, maybe cross your left leg over the right, but still make sure you can sit evenly here through both sit bones. Now here you can stay with your right leg extended or even bring your heel towards your hip. Left hand behind you, right arm up, and twist. And release. And we'll just take a counter twist. Maybe plant your hands, lean forward, and press up. Uncross your legs. Plant your feet, reverse tabletop, squeeze your glutes, lift your hips, and hips between your hands, hover, and ground. Left foot out, right foot in. Left hand behind you, right arm up, and fold over your left leg. And just reaching what's accessible, looking for length here in your spine. And release. Stargazer, right hand behind you, ground through your right shin, lift your hip, and bring it back down. Now right foot either to the inside or cross it over your left leg. And you can stay with your leg extended or bring it back closer towards your hip, still grounded evenly in the sit bones. Right hand behind you, left arm up, lifted chest. And as you're ready, twist, taking your gaze over your right shoulder. release. Back to center. Uncross your legs, plant your feet, reverse tabletop. And now from here, just press your hips towards your heels and lower down to your forearms and lower all the way to your back. Chin slightly tucked, bridge pose, press down into your feet, squeeze your tailbone, lift your hips, hold here 5 breaths. One last breath in, hips to the floor, breathe out, and hands to the tops of your knees. Gently rock a little side to side. And bring your forehead up to meet your knees, forearms wrap around your shins. Wrap it into a tight, tiny little ball. And gently rock front to back. Making your way into a seat. If you'd like to take a Savasana, feel free. Just acknowledging yourself for showing up, for setting aside this time, this space to do something for you. Maybe trying something new, or maybe figuring out new ways to teach something, or maybe just reinforcing something you already know. But thank you so much for sharing your effort, your time, your energy. It's always a pleasure, and it's been an honor. And namaste.